19 without this policy in place. We introduced free SHS because history and the
These other stories will be coming up this evening, and then some more from the world of business, sports, entertainment, and the international front. The news is proudly sponsored by Asatec Roofing Sheet and Cookware. Asatec, sheltering you for life. Migo Purified Drinking Water, Blue City Ties and Accessories, and Yaxin Herbal Mixture. My name is Anastasia Badu. Now let's move to our first story. The examination fees of the first group of beneficiaries of the free SHS program will be provided by government. In his 12th national address, the President, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, said the Akufo-Addo graduates who are sitting for 2019-2020 academic exams will have the examination fees absorbed by government.
For the first time in our nation's history, the government will absorb the WASSCE examination fees of the 313,837 students who will sit for the exam. 75.4 million cedis will be spent on this. These SHS3 students, also referred to by some as the Akufo-Addo graduates, are also the first group of beneficiaries of government's free senior high school policy to sit the WASSCE exams. 1.2 million children, the highest such enrollment in our nation's history because of this policy, are currently in senior high schools. Let us pause for a moment to consider what would have happened to the 400,000 more students who have entered senior high school between 2017 and 2019 without this policy in place. We introduced free SHS because history and the experiences of developed nations have shown that the most efficient way to empower the population and thereby guarantee the future of the nation is by investing in education and skills training of the youth.
On leadership on almost half of the committees have been given red cards by the people who sent them to the House following the contest that took place on Saturday, 21st June 2020. 39 sitting New Patriotic Party members of Parliament who stood for elections to be retained as the party's parliamentary candidates going into the 2020 elections have lost their primaries. This includes 13 parliamentary committee chairmen, 4 parliamentary committee vice chairmen, 3 ministers, 3 deputy ministers, and 16 MPs without portfolio.
Almost 25% out of the 169 MPP MPs in Parliament, that is 1 in every 4 MPP member of Parliament, lost Saturday's contest, and about 65 others sailed through uncontested. The lead seat comprises of 13 committee chairmen, 4 vice chairmen, 3 ministers, 3 deputy ministers, and 16 MPs without portfolio. The chairman of Parliament's Health Committee, Dr. Kwabena Chum Noama, chairman of Food and Agricultural Committee, Kwame Asafo Eje, chairman of the Defense and Interior Committee, Seth Echampong, chairman of Works and Housing Committee, Nana Amwakun, chairman of Poverty Reduction Committee, Godfred Tango, chairman of Finance Committee, Dr. Mark Asibe Yeboah, and chairman of Communications Committee, Frederick Opari Ansah, have all lost their seats. Also, chairman of the Education Committee, William Kwetu, chairman of Parliament's Legal Affairs Committee, Ben Abdullah, chairman of Government Assurance Committee, Collins Owusu Amankwa, chairman of the Gender and Children Committee, Dr. Kojo Apiakubi, chairman of the Trade and Industry Committee, Nana Amini Ampomafo, and the chairman of Youth and Sports Committee, Alex Ajeku, have also lost, just as Vice Chairman of Parliament's Food and Agriculture Committee, Abraham Odum, Vice Chairman of Roads and Transport Committee, Kofi Brako, Vice Chairman of Trade and Industry Committee, Solomon Atopan-Ford, and Vice Chairman of Poverty Reduction Committee, Ahmed Atha, all lost during Saturday's contest.
This happened last Saturday, and we are saying congratulations to all newbies that came on. You can log on to www.adoanewsonline.com to see updates on what happened or transpired on Saturday, and also on our Facebook page you can go on the election zone and on Facebook and then watch what happened on Saturday. Now moving on to some more stories. Incumbent MP Honorable Ebenezer Gilbert Nate won the Ablekuma Central Constituency primaries with a landslide margin. The Ablekuma Central Constituency had two candidates contesting for the seat, incumbent MP Ebenezer and Paul Lamte, who contested, I beg your pardon, for the first time. 212 delegates casted their votes at the Mambrook Park electoral area, and the incumbent MP polled 191 votes, while his counterparts polled 18, as 3 was recorded as rejected votes.
Incumbent Member of Parliament Ebenezer Nate retained his seat to contest for the Ablekuma Central constituency on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party as at 11:15 a.m. Out of 212 delegates, 113 of them have casted their vote. Delegates were asked to wash and sanitize their hands, have their temperatures checked before going to the presiding officer for their ballot paper to cast their vote. The constituency was less busy as police officers and some delegates were having some conversations. After the 212 delegates casted their vote, the presiding officer started counting the ballot papers, after which the incumbent Member of Parliament Ebenezer had 191 votes. Paul Lamte had 18, while 3 was counted as rejected votes. A section of delegates started cheering Ebenezer Nate's name for winning the Ablekuma Central primary. Chairman of the Soko Presby electoral area, Charles Adi, said he voted for Ebenezer Nate because of his good works he has done over the last 4 years.
Ebenezer say, Ebenezer, oye juma, why juma? Ablekuma Central had it. Ubo Ebenezer dia no ni muna just owa wabaha. Why juma? Na obi oye juma na ese otu anoso. Nti na juma pa ene ne ye pa oye nti ene etu anoso no. Oh my brother. Wo de adepa ba ufi a wo se me pam na akọ. Na wa kan latif on ni hina. Odi gari bottle. Nchiri articulator. Onya da. Why? Because no adwuma yanga yewa ha no. Yewa ha na NDC by one MP by Tete Chai 8 years got tobacco po engineer anye mo friend hu na also nya do ba so monko na me hwe na manya NDC pa wo Ablekuma Central de eje bi wo ha owu papa Ablekuma Central NDC.
Member of Parliament for Ablekuma Central Constituency, Honorable Eslo Uswekufo, went unopposed in the NPP primaries that came off on Saturday at the Ablekuma West electoral area. Albert Kandapa, who was supposed to contest with Honorable Eslo Usu, failed to pick up his nomination forms due to the absence of the constituency chairman, Bright Osaipuni. A total of 678 constituency officials, including 650 delegates, 18 constituency executives, 5 council of elders and 5 patrons endorsed Honorable Esla Owusu-Ekufo as their preferred parliamentary candidate for the December 7th polls.
Of Parliament for Ablekuma West constituency, Honorable Esla Owusu went unopposed in the just-ended MPP parliamentary primaries that came off over the weekend at the Ablekuma West electoral area. Regional Secretary of the New Patriotic Party addressed the delegates shortly after they were seated. In his speech, he said, "Some delegates are going around telling party faithfuls to vote for President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and ignore Honorable Esla Owusu."
Some of my things say Abrante be called rounds. Now the all kind of say, "Get to Obama president, my to my help." So yes, I own the party. And people know you assume the power. You assume your party.
In the December 7 polls, there were 10 police officers at the MPP office, 4 female and 6 males. There was 1 Veronica bucket available for the washing of hands. 2 hand sanitizers were also available for delegates to sanitize their hands before entering into the office. Later on, Honorable Esla Owusu arrived while dancing into the party's office. After which she addressed the delegates.
Regional Secretary Wakano. Ye badwemma fo. Yenye asombrachi. Osonechi ena yedi. Enya nkwankre bi echi ena yedi. Yakantam se yebeye adwuma ama MPP ye nenkanko ene nimpuntu. Efise yenim se MPP abanya enya krano eyesin NDC abanya eyepa.
After addressing the delegates, Honorable Esla Owusu spoke to Adoatv news reporter Isaac Multi, saying she already knows the challenges facing the constituency and she's working systematically to address them.
We already know the challenges facing this constituency. We've been working here for close to 20 years now. If we didn't know them, we deserve to be kicked out. But we know what the challenges are, and we're working systematically to address them. The road network, it's improved. We've done about 25 kilometers of asphalt resurfacing. The Western Link Road is being done, but we have a lot more roads than that. In the next term, we have to work on the side roads, which will take the pressure of the main roads and beautify our communities. We want to be a model constituency and municipality. So we're going to use technology to enhance our operations here. We're giving our children computer literacy education. Every school here has a computer lab. We're building, with the help of one of our partners, an ultra-modern e-library and robotics center at the Ebenezer Secondary School, which is also open to the community. It should be commissioned sometime next month. And so we're working hard. We're getting another community information center around Tunga, which will deepen the use of technology for everybody. In COVID, we've seen how without technology, without access to the internet, it's virtually impossible to do a lot of work. And so we need to give access to the people. We need to train them and give them the digital skills. We're going to do that. Our young people need jobs. We're going to work to see how we can create opportunities for them, either in the private sector or within the public sector, to engage. We've started already by giving small loans to over 3,000 people to facilitate the work that they do. But COVID has had an impact on everybody's economic activity. And so there's still significant challenges which we need to work to address. The security situation is also challenging, but they've started, we've got street lights, we're getting more police stations, we're helping to equip the police to enable them perform efficiently. Now, if you deal with the roads, the street lighting, jobs, opportunities, and
now, in a bid to curb the spread of COVID-19 pandemic in the country, President Akufo-Addo in his 10th address announced that while borders remain closed, social gatherings and religious places can operate with a maximum of 100 participants. This was to be done under strict conditions such as the adherence of the safety protocols. In the just-ended NPP parliamentary primaries over the weekend, it was observed that complying with the health protocols by some delegates was almost impossible. Here's a report by Nanya Makolitsing.
The new Patriotic Party held its parliamentary primaries on Saturday, 20th June 2020 in 101 constituencies across the 16 regions of the country to elect its parliamentary candidates for the general elections. According to the General Secretary of the party in a press conference prior to the elections, he expressed the party's readiness as the necessary safety protocol to curb the spread of COVID-19 at various polling stations were outlined. Meanwhile, on Saturday, all cautions about COVID-19 were thrown to the wind as party delegates and members were seen flouting the social distancing rule in most constituencies. In Okankwe South, for instance, after Dakwa Newman was pronounced parliamentary candidate-elect, delegates congregate in their numbers in wild jubilation in a full gear of police who were supposed to enforce the law.
I duly declare the winner and the candidate-elect for the 2020 parliamentary elections, Dakwa Newman. Congratulations.
The question I'm asking is, if this should happen during a parliamentary election, how about the general elections? Nanyuma Collison for Adoa News.
Away from that story, the president in his 12th address on measures taken by government against COVID-19 outlined the necessary protocols adopted by the government as final year students of senior high school and Form 2 Gold Track students resume school today. Adoa News team visited the Holy Trinity Cathedral Senior High School to monitor and assess situations at the school.
Back to school, it's very important for us to come back to school as final year students. So, it's just okay. Well, the measures to combat the virus are being put in place in the various schools and here too as well. So yes, we feel safe.
Okay, so are you really adhering to the safety precautionary measures?
Yes, we are.
How prepared are you to write your final year exam?
Well, for me, I'm quite prepared because I utilized the time while I was at home to prepare for the WASI, so I'm very prepared.
Well, for me, I'm not prepared. Yes, because when I went home, I didn't learn that much, and I thought we were not going back. So yes, I thought we were not going back, but then all of a sudden he came back with this announcement that everyone is coming to school. I'm trying my best to be prepared.
I'm very happy coming back to school, but quite scared. COVID-19 is really scary. Because coming back to school, I had a notion that before we come, maybe Veronica bucket and other staffs have been already provided, but it seems like it's just this morning that there have been arrangements, so we are adjusting, but it's still kind of scary.
All right.
So we've been home for long, so seeing your friends, sometimes you just be forgetful and you would like to.
I had e-learning with my teacher because some teachers created WhatsApp group and sending questions through it. So with that, I had maximum attention with it. So I learned through that. Sometimes due to, a lot of people get connect with the internet, so we had some challenges with it, but yet still, we still solve questions and we send them back to the teachers.
The resumption of senior high schools. Most senior high schools across the country have marked their first day at school today after 3 months of staying at home. A visit to the Kobo Presbyterian Senior High School today revealed that all safety protocols, which includes washing of hands, taking of vitals, that is temperature, and taking of student information, was done at the entrance to the school. Most students had to stand apart from each other to queue for the process. All students without nose mask were asked to put on one before entering the school. Meanwhile, the Anglican Church held its first Sunday Mass in more than 2 months after the President of Ghana eased the phase 1 of restrictions on religious activities. A visit by Adoa News reporter Nanyuma Collison to some Anglican churches in Accra revealed that the priests and congregants were happy to attend church service while entreating other Anglicans not to sit at home. There's more in the following report.
We intended holding 6 services, but today being the first day, we read that the attendance is not as expected, but henceforth we intend holding 6 services. Yes, we registered online. And so by today we printed all those who registered according to the services timetable. And so as they came, they went to their various times and their names already written, information already given. So we just ticked those who were present. So that's how. So no one handled anything. They didn't write. They didn't touch anything. They just went through the protocol and went into the chapel. It's good. In fact, it has been excellent. They are obeying all that is expected. So right at the gate, the temperatures were taken, and immediately they enter, there is washing of hands, and then they go to the registration table and clear themselves. Then they go. In fact, before they will enter, we have made all the offering bowls at the gate ready. So they drop in their offerings before they enter the church.
From the Holy Trinity Cathedral, service was impressive. The news team further moved to the St. Mary's Divergent Anglican Church, where Father tells me that turnout was impressive.
Since the lockdown, it has been 13 weeks, and today is our first service. The services that we have assigned for the day is 7 to 8. The second service 9 to 10, and then the third service 11 to 12. Strictly, the protocol is being observed right from the entrance. You can see that when you are coming, you have the Veronica buckets there, you have the thermometer, and then you have sanitizers and the rest. Now look at me, the parish priest. I'm in my face mask. If you go to the church, everybody in the church is in the face mask. And we, the priests, if one is celebrating, one will sit down. You don't go there at all. So we are observing the protocol. In today's gospel, Jesus is saying that life is about choice. And we have made choice that we are going to serve Jesus. So whether coronavirus or not, we are serving Jesus. And I'm telling all Christians that don't be afraid to go to your church. David said, I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord.
Again, the news team continued to St. Michael's and All Angels Anglican Church. There, we found out that service is yet to commence and will take off on the 5th of July 2020.
As you can see, we are not having service today because we have a whole lot of things to do. And as you can see, there's a massive construction going on, as you can see. And according to one of the protocols, we cannot use one entrance. We cannot have an entrance and an exit. So we have the entrance here, but the exit is on my right. You can see the construction going on. So we need to sit down with the contractor, arrange for all the debris, everything to be cleared up. Everything will be cleared up, leveled nicely, the gate probably fixed, and then we can use the exit and ready service. So tentatively, we will start service maybe 5th of July, tentatively, because we have a lot of things to do.
Congregants from St. George's Anglican Church told me he's excited that service is back again.
But with the protocol put in place by the President and supported by Bishop Dr. Toto, we are here today. In fact, I'm very pleased with what I've seen now. We have only one entrance and two exits. The spacing inside the church is just superb. I can tell it's more than the 3 meters that was even needed. And then everything is going on. But being the first day at church, some members who want to at least see what others who have been here today will say and then come. But hopefully during the week, the message will go down very well, and then by next week we hope to have a sizable number of congregants to worship.
Another congregant from St. Andrew's Anglican Church also admonished all congregants sitting at home to make it a point to come to church and worship.
My name is Edmund Jacob Hoffman. I'm a member of St. Andrew's Anglican Church, Abesokan. I was privileged to join the second service, which started at 8:30 a.m., just a 1-hour service. And I am also very much impressed with the protocols that were put in place. We washed our hands, we took our temperature, and they took our names, telephone numbers, and all other contact details that were required. As Christians, we should admonish our fellow congregation members or our fellow members who are not yet with us now and they are waiting to see how things will go on in the few Sundays to come. Admonish them to, come to church.
The news team moved to the St. Joseph Anglican Church. We spoke to parish priest of All Souls Anglican Church and priest assistant for St. Joseph the Worker Anglican Church.
Wonderfully, today's service, the gospel, the last part says something, and I love that. But I've put it on our platform already, that if you want to save your life, you rather lose it. I thought this time that the church has opened, all of us need to come and give thanks to God. That after all, this virus was around, and none of us had found wanting. So at least members of the church should come and give thanks to God, at least for themselves, their families, and even their job, because others have lost their job. But you are still working. Others have lost their lives, but you are around. So for me, my way of believing in God is that the first day, people should come in their numbers.
I'm Reverend Father Cyril Yabuautu, reporting for All Souls. This morning, around 7:30, members started trooping in. We went through the various protocols that were supposed to be observed, and at 8, we started the service. At 9, we were done. We had 41 attending, 19 that went for communion. Yes. And generally, people were quite enthused with it.
My first service was at St. Philip Mataheko. It's one of our outstations. And the attendance was good. It was encouraging. The people there participated in full, to which I'm very grateful to God. And then when I got back to the main church, St. Joseph, where I handled the third service, again, we had a number of people coming.
We have more for you in this bulletin when we come back from the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Supa na wanya pomuden se wo benum nso a hwe hu ni se eye mega purified mineral water eye nso a yetu ni baby pa asaso ni so se kroje se wonya mega purified mineral water bogu ubu a wo see you manum nsupa mega mineral water de edanso esan say the modern technology so na ye ede na nkabia ni atri mega purified mineral water bacteria na mhen wa bewrem eye very hygienic obia di one dance mega mineral water neatly packaged for 500 ml bottles mu na wani bosua na wokon donsio wo benya mega purified mineral water to bebia to phone call dodo wa Amanfro Tipa Junction and afre 050-7055-409 and 055-392-1088 mega purified mineral water akona kono.
John, what you knew? Wow. Eddie, what boy, Juma?
Welcome back from the break and to a first story. This year, the average revenue collected from the country's entry point is 942 million Ghana cedis monthly. With the deployment of ICUMS, the Customs Division has been able to collect 490 million Ghana cedis from 1st to 17th June. Looking at this trend, it is obvious that the authority will not be losing revenue as being highlighted by some sections of society. With the objective to bring about improvements with the deployment of ICUMS at the Tema port, a lot of concerns have been raised by our stakeholders such as importers, exporters, clearing agents, civil society organizations and section of the media.
We start any new system,
we will have challenges, and as you usually refer to it as breathing challenges. Items have not been spared of its portion of breathing challenges. But we have not rested on our house, neither have we also closed our ears to the concerns. And we have done all that we think is possible and all that we continue to do to ensure that this system stabilizes and that our ports continue to be efficient and that goods that are being exported or imported are also sufficiently cleared within time. I want to let
Also, the government of Ghana spent 6.40 billion Ghana cedis on interest payments in the first quarter of this year. This represented 1.7% of gross domestic product and in line with the envisioned target of 6.42 billion Ghana cedis. According to the Bank of Ghana, total interest payments constituted almost 64% of domestic revenue, undermining fiscal flexibility. Adding that while domestic interest payments out 10 was close to the proposed target, external interest payments were somewhat above the planned target due to additional payments not factored in the program targets. Together with wages and salaries, they accounted for over 120% of domestic revenue, suggesting a lack of fiscal space and inherent rigidities in the budget execution. The situation means that government depends on grants and other sources of funds to finance capital projects, raising concerns going forward. This year, the government is expected to spend 23 billion Ghana cedis on interest payments, but that may not be so because of the coronavirus pandemic. Finally, budget deficit and fiscal deficit used by economists is often used interchangeably. Dr. Ebenezer Ashi explains what each of these two terminologies mean.
Actually, when we talk about budget deficit, we are looking at the situation where the planned expenditure for a particular year is more than the revenue to be mobilized during the period. In this case, we have our expenses being more than our revenue. So we have a budget deficit. However, if it does not end with a particular year, but then it continues with a second year and more, then the name transforms from budget deficit to fiscal deficit. So basically, we say a nation is experiencing or recording fiscal deficit when for 2 or more consecutive years, the country's total expenditure is more than the revenue being mobilized. So that is the difference. The budget deficit is just for a year, and then the fiscal deficit is for 2 or more years, because there are some instances where a particular year would end with a budget deficit, but then the following year, the nation may end with a budget surplus. That is the planned revenue to be mobilized will be more than the planned expenditure for that particular year. So that is the basic difference between budget deficit and fiscal deficit. One is continuous, one is just for
We'll be moving from this to entertainment when we come back from the break. We'll be right back.
John, what's in you? Wow, Eddie, what boy, Juma. I check a roofing now. Oh, you fell one casa from Asate. Oh, na Simon, roofing is a baby bray, nice keke. Why the catcher? Asate roofing sheet today, and your nice keke with the bodan swa a chey and renache. They want to call us a hood of a fair the bray. No one free roofing sheet, no dear. Who hear that will be out? Now, so the bodan swa a hero supampe. What means which Roman send your open roofing sheet? You try the summer pepe. Mama po Asate when you there. One of my technical advice na estimate free. Our professional installers and so I want your on-site installation. You boss crowd dafum pa. Oh yes, quality and with that feminine. Asatec 5 days pay now can order. Now a year after sales service proper being so. Sheshe Asatec Watema Community 2, Meridian Road, a Benkoko Board Warehouse, Western Region. So Asatec Watakrade Anaji, Yeni Princeland Hotel and Edition, and a Volta Region, Yawo Akachi South District Assembly Quinosuha.
Welcome back from the break. You're still watching the evening news at 6 here on Adoatv. And to our first entertainment story, comedian DKB has sent out a consolable message to former Musica President Adoa after losing the NPP primaries at Asante Achem South. Many have reacted to Adoa's loss in many ways, with most laughing or teasing him, including comedian DKB, who decided to console Adoa, but in actual sense was teasing him.
Yeah, Adoa, forget everybody. You've done your best as a young man. You have made impact. Better years ahead. I don't know why Ghanaians hate Adoa like that. Small primaries is lost. Everybody's so excited. And do you know what made me realize that people really hate Adoa? You know, after elections and they tell you straight away, you've lost. Do you know what they did to Adoa? They told him he had won. When he got excited, then they destroyed him and said, oh, you've lost. Why? You made this man change his playlist. When they told him, oh boy, you've won, he started playing a song. Oh boy, oh boy, 5 minutes later, oh boy, he be like, you lose. Me so that now me need your baby shake that yeah, boy, huh? Oh boy, forget everybody. You have been president already, so don't even worry yourself. Look at Musica. Before you came to Musica presidency, your stomach was 400 megabytes. By 2-3 years, it was 7 terabytes. So you've done your best. Look, you were Musica president, which means you are president of all musicians. Kofi Kenyatta alone is Western region. T-Flow, Central region. Kumasi, Flo Kingston. You were his president. Uyala, Northern region with Aishuba Batashoy. You were their president. You come to the Volta region. Nobody understands what Eden keeps saying. You were his president. You come to Accra. Shatawale says, you were his president. Forget everybody. See, those delegates who promised to vote for a boy and they didn't vote, this midnight he's coming to you. You'll be asleep. You hear somebody in your window. Hey, oh boy, is that you? Now I'll cast him a call. Me young call. It is time. Me will slap you, you shit. Yes. You think say what? Adoa, forget everybody. 2024, Adoa for parliamentary candidate. We are going to pray for you.
Also, Father's Day is a day of honoring fatherhood and paternal bonds, as well as the influence of fathers in society. June 21 marked this year's Father's Day across the world, and some Ghanaian celebrities took to social media to do just the Sunday posting to flaunt their dads and other fathers they admire.
They posted the photos as they paid glowing tribute to their respective fathers for their hard works all those years that have brought them this far. The likes of Shatawale, Emilia Broby, Gloria Safo, Moisha Budon, Kwesi Arthur, Sarkodie, Stoneboy, and Wendy Shea all took to their social media handles to eulogize their fathers. Gloria Safo posted a picture of her dad with a beautiful caption, "Happy Father's Day to my old soldier. I love you dearly, Daddy. I promise to make you happy always regardless, so help me God." Shatawale also posted a picture with caption, "Great Father, Shata Kapo." Emilia Broby, on the other hand, posted a photo of her dad with a long caption, "Happy Father's Day, Daddy. Daddy, Happy Father's Day. I am filled with gratitude for your presence in my life, and no day like today to express this to you. May the love and respect I feel for you make up for the worry and the care I have caused you. Wishing you happiness and joy on this Father's Day. I would love you always. Happy Father's Day once again. Happy Father's Day to all fathers in the world." Moisha Budon, who posted a picture of herself with her father, wrote a beautiful letter to him. Her letter reads, "Happy Father's Day to the best dad. I love you. Dad, you mean the world to me. As the years pass by, I realize more and more just how lucky I am to have a wonderful dad like you. As you get older, I want you to know that I am here for you. Through thick and thin, I love you, Daddy's girl, my heartbeat, my life, my joy. I love you so, so much. I will do anything to see you happy. Edward Budon, I love you." Kwesiata posted a picture of his dad carrying a baby with caption, "They're all super. Happy Father's Day to every father." Stoneboy Desobolo Headmaker took to his Instagram to post some pictures of his father and himself with caption, "My fathers, men live. #Happy Father's Day." Wendy Shea, who didn't want to be left out, posted a picture of herself, her mother, and her late father with a long tribute. It reads, "Happy Father's Day to my father and my mother. Daddy, I wish you were here to see your daughter grow up to become the strong and fearless woman you always wanted her to be. I was 2 years old when you left. No memories, but your blood runs through my veins. I will always love you, Daddy. And Mommy, thank you for playing the role of the father when Daddy left." Sarkodie took to Twitter to wish himself a happy Father's Day. He wrote, #Father's Day. Augustine Owusu Ado, Michael Owusu Ado, the King, Michael Nanayao Owusu Ado Jr., aka MJ. He posted a picture of himself and his dad and himself and his son. Happy Father's Day to all.
That's all for entertainment. International news is next. Welcome back from the break. On the international front, the World Health Organization sent out a fresh warning on Monday over the dangers of the new coronavirus, even as France returned to life by staging an annual music festival and sending millions of children back to school. In spite of numerous European countries further easing their lockdown restrictions, cases around the world are rising, especially in Latin America, with Brazil now registering over 50,000 deaths. There are also fears of a second wave, with Australians being warned against traveling to Melbourne. The pandemic is still accelerating. WHO's Director General Tedros Adhanom told the virtual health forum organized by Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, "We know that the pandemic is much more than a health crisis. It is an economic crisis, a social crisis, and in many countries, a political crisis. Its effects will be felt for decades to come." Ghebreyesus said the greatest threat facing the world is not the virus itself, which has now killed over 465,000 people and infected nearly 9 million worldwide, but the lack of global solidarity and global leadership. "We cannot defeat this pandemic with a divided world," he said. The politicization of the pandemic has exacerbated it. And in Brazil has become the second country after the U.S. to register more than 50,000 deaths from COVID-19. It comes amid growing political tension and just days after the country confirmed more than 1 million coronavirus infections. Brazil recorded its highest number of daily deaths on 4th June. The 7-day average seems to have plateaued since. President Jair Bolsonaro's decision to oppose lockdowns and focus on the economy has been hugely divisive. 2 health ministers, both doctors, have left their posts as deaths and infections have surged. The first was sacked by the Bolsonaro. The second resigned after disagreeing with far-right president. That's all for this evening. You can log on to our website for updates of the stories and some more on www.adoanewsonline.com and also on Facebook on Adoatv Ghana and YouTube Adoatv GH. The news was proudly sponsored by Asatec Roofing Sheet and Cookware. Asatec, sheltering you for life. Mega purified drinking water, Blue City Ties and accessories, and the Yaxin Herbal Mixture. Don't forget to stay safe and stay at home. My name is Anastasia Badu. Have a lovely evening and enjoy the rest of our programs.